Hey, I'm really glad you're here, because I need to tell you what it felt like when I brought the LG C5 into my space. This isn't for someone who's okay with just watching. This is for a person who feels when blacks aren't deep enough, when colors look washed out, when motion feels hesitant instead of effortless. You're the kind of person who recognizes quality instinctively. You've been settling with gear that's fine. Until it wasn't. And that's exactly why this screen matters. Before you go deeper, take a moment to check the current price and availability. Smaller OLED sizes like this can shift quickly in stock and pricing, and timing matters more than most people realize. I knew it was time to upgrade when I walked into the room and realized I was scrolling settings more than I was watching content. My old TV technically worked, but it never disappeared. Colors felt muted during critical moments, and every dark scene looked washed out instead of intentional. Switching to this was like lifting a curtain. Suddenly, scenes breathed. Shadows held depth. Motion felt fluent, not jittery. That emotional relief, where your brain stops managing the screen and starts enjoying what's on it, that's what this delivers. Living with it day after day, the difference goes beyond sharp specs. Movies finally feel alive. Dolby Vision doesn't just brighten highlights, it gives shape, presence. Dolby Atmos doesn't just add sound, it makes you feel moments instead of hearing them. Gaming feels fluid and decisive, like the screen is synchronized with you. Even casual browsing and streaming feels intentional, not just adequate. Once you experience that level of clarity and responsiveness, you start noticing what you'd been missing everywhere else. You'll catch yourself thinking about how lesser screens feel off in ways you didn't consciously register before. That's loss aversion at work. You're not imagining it, your senses are recalibrating what good feels like. If you're hesitating because of timing or price, don't lock yourself into waiting on something perfect that might never show up. Deals change. Stock fluctuates. Just see where it stands right now before momentum moves on. You might assume these gains show up only in ideal scenes, but that's not true. The real payoff is in everyday moments, a dimly lit film that finally holds texture, a high-action scene that no longer blurs, a soundtrack that feels dimensional and present even at lower volume. Here's the surprise benefit that sneaks up on you: ownership pride. You feel it every time someone sits down and notices something right without you explaining it. You don't have to justify this choice. It just performs. That's a subtle but powerful psychological shift. After using it consistently, a few things become undeniably clear. Dark scenes finally feel purposeful, motion looks smooth, intentional colors feel rich and alive, every moment feels effortless. Of course, it has its trade-offs. You'll instantly notice weaker screens. And once you've lived with this level of refinement, going back feels harder than you ever thought. At some point, you stop cycling through specs and comparisons and just choose what your eyes already know you want. Don't let this be one of those upgrades you think, "I should have done that earlier." Check the current price, see what's in stock, and when it feels right, make the move. Because once this is part of your everyday viewing, ordinary just doesn't cut it anymore.